friends. Have you been enjoying this nice weather?
Hi, Miss Baker. Hi, everyone. Oh, I know I have been enjoying the weather. How about you, Miss Baker?
I sure have. Oh, if we could have weather like this every single day, wouldn't that be just great? Well, in the Bible, they say that God is our sovereign ruler. Now, have you heard the word sovereign before? Probably not. It's not a word people use very often. But sovereign means someone who is in charge or is in control. And that does describe God. And the second word, ruler, well, we know we've heard that word before. Ruler can be small enough to fit in your pocket, or they can be 1 foot, or they can measure 3 feet, or 30 feet, or maybe even 100 feet. And sometimes they are different shapes, or they can even bend and fold up. Well, those rulers measure something if it will fit or if it's too big. Maybe you've even used a ruler this week. But how could these rulers describe God? Well, another meaning of ruler is to be somebody in charge or in control. So a sovereign ruler must mean someone who is in charge of people who are in charge. Wow, that definitely does describe God, doesn't it? In Psalms 103:19, it says, God rules the whole universe. He is preserver and ruler. So he has the greatest power to be in charge of everything. He's big enough, strong enough, powerful enough, smart enough to be in charge and to take care of everything. Now that is a ruler. And next time we see a ruler, it will help us remember who the real ruler is. And even if we think it would be great to have nice weather like this every single day, God knows that we need to have different types of weather so that the earth will be a healthy place for us to live. So it is best that he's in charge and not us. So God guides us and teaches us every day to be more like him. Have you ever wondered what God is really like? Well, let's hear a story about a little boy who also wonders what God is really like. Maybe God is like that too. I live in the city where the sidewalks and subway cars and buildings and buses are packed with people. But I've never seen God before. Grandma, does God live in the city? I asked one morning at breakfast. Yes, God is here, she says. You just need to know where to look. Whenever you see love, joy, and peace, God is there, she says, stirring her tea. Wherever there's patience, kindness, and goodness, God is there too. When you see faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, that's God's Spirit at work. On the way to school, I'm on the lookout. I see a bus full of tourists and count 10 bright yellow taxis. I spy a man sweeping a stoop. And Grandma and I laugh when we see a tiny dog wearing a fluffy purple sweater. At school, Grandma hands me my lunch and hugs me close before she says goodbye. That's what love looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. On the swings, I pump so hard, I see over the wall and into the alley. My friends shout, higher, higher, as my feet fly way up into the sky. That's what joy looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. Outside, car horns blast and sirens scream, but my classroom is quiet and calm. That's what peace looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I try to tie my shoes, but the laces tangle around my fingers. My teacher sits down beside me and shows me how to tie them. That's what patience looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. On the way home, I see a doorman wearing a red cape and a hat with a shiny brim. He's holding the door for a man using a wheelchair. The man moves very slowly, and the doorman chats with him and smiles. That's what kindness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. While I'm setting the table for dinner, there's a knock at the door. It's our neighbor from downstairs bringing us a loaf of bread. It's golden brown and warm and wrapped in a thin white towel. That's what goodness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. After dinner, I work on my homework while Grandma stands at the kitchen sink washing dishes and humming to herself, just like she does every single night. That's what faithfulness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. At bedtime, Grandma sits at the edge of my bed singing me a lullaby and stroking my head. She tucks my blankets up close around me. That's what gentleness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I lie in bed watching the curtains flutter. I want to talk about that dog we saw today and how high I can swing. But Grandma says that once I'm tucked in, I have to stay in bed until morning. I close my eyes and try to fall asleep. That's what self-control looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I saw God over and over again today. Whenever I saw love, joy, and peace, and whenever there was patience, kindness, and goodness, when I saw faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, I saw God's Spirit at work. I don't see God the way I see my friends, or the streetlights, or the river, but I see signs of God's Spirit all around me, right here in the city. I know what God is like. Maybe I can be like that too.
Miss Baker, thank you so much for reading that story for us. And I really like how the little boy could see all the different things that reminded him about what God is like. And also, I like how you talked about that God is our greatest and best ruler. He does things way beyond even my biggest ruler right here, 25 whole feet. He does things that are beyond measure. We can't even, comprehend or measure how much God does, which is really cool. So I think that learning that, it helps me to think about how good it is to follow God and to do the things that He says, be kind to one another and love one another. I just love that. So thanks so much for sharing that story and for sharing your thoughts. Let's end this time with a prayer. Miss Baker, would you mind leading us in the prayer?
Absolutely. Friends, God made the sun, God made the sea. God made the fish, and God made me. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for the sea. Thank you for the fish, and thank you for me. Dear God, you are love. You are kindness. You are patience. You are goodness. Oh my gosh, you are so many things. But most of all, thank you for being the best ruler we will ever have and for teaching us to be more like you. We love you very much. Amen. Goodbye. Have a great week. And we're looking forward to sharing another lesson with you next week.
Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.